Live in the Twin Cities, Steve Edelman and Sharon Anderson, and Twin Cities Today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. On today's show, we have a man who used to be here as a KSTP meteorologist. Mr. Barry ZeVan is with us today. Since he was working here, he's gone several places in the country. We're going to find out what he's up to now.
And we're going to be speaking with a lovely young woman who has become Minnesota's Junior Miss for 1980. She's from Forest Lake, and her name is Regina LaRoche. And we're going to talk to her about how she got that title and where she's going from here.
Also, Craig Olson, the plant doctor, has some home improvement ideas for us today. Well, let's take a little preview look at them now. We went to the Dayton's home store in Roseville and took a look at some of the walls that they put together there, because there are some very interesting wall treatments, things that you can do with mirrors and wood, interesting designs, which you might want to try as a home improvement idea yourself. And we did several of those. We'll take a look at them a little later in today's show.
And inflation fighters today. We're going to show you how to make a lamp out of a wicker basket. The whole thing costs maybe $12, $15 at the most, and it's quite an attractive lamp. Also, Steve has an idea on how you can make some placemats very cheaply, and they will be something you're going to want to hang on to for a long time.
Our first guest today was very popular here in the Twin Cities, and still is, even though he's not on television anymore. He used to be the KSTP weatherman. Then he left here and went to Washington, D.C., left D.C. and went to Detroit, and he's still in Detroit now doing such things as the weather, making ski films, some of which have been nominated for Academy Awards.
Emmys.
Emmys. Not Academy Awards, Emmys. And also, he's involved with Big Sky, Montana, the ski area there, as a representative. Would you welcome, please, Barry ZeVan.
Thank you.
Morning, Barry.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, how's everything going?
Oh, just super. It's so great to be back here. Every time I walk in this building, I feel like I'm walking in my own home.
Sure.
You miss Minnesota?
Miss it terribly. Yeah, I love it.
You went from here first to Washington, D.C.
Right.
What station did you work at there?
WJLA, which was the ABC station down there.
Well, what
Not
was
to say ABC on here now.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
What was it like? What was the difference between here and D.C.?
Well, truthfully, Charles Nelson Riley, it's a very good question, because Charles Nelson Riley was in D.C. doing a play once, and he was quoted as, the big time is really the small time, and the small time is really the big time. This is not the small time by any means, but the bigger time, say the eastern cities or whatever, very non-professional and really not what they're cracked up to.
Is that
In what way?
Why do you
Well,
say that?
a lot of egos to contend with, big super ego, prima donna, sorts of things.
Which,
And,
you're talking about the people that worked at the station?
the
or?
people who either worked at the station or ran the station or whatever, and it was not very pleasant. And 6 days after I was there, I was wishing I was back here. But I had a lot of good experiences in Washington, too. Can't certainly knock that. And one of them was going to Iran, as a matter of fact. When you're in D.C., a lot of people who watch you are the ambassadors and the senators and things of that nature. And so I had a ski show down there, as I did here, of course, the ski scene, and got the opportunity to start doing my own films, to run my own camera, narrate my own films, write my own scripts. And once the Empress of Iran was visiting her embassy, and the ambassador came bopping down the hall. He was on our news one night. He said, "We watched your film." He said, "The Emperor's very impressed with your film." He said, "Do you know we have skiing in Iran?" I said, "Yes." So he invited me to go film the Shah and the Empress and go over there. But went over the first time with my ex-wife, Chris, who was from the Twin Cities also, and the first time we went over, Barbara Walters had insulted the Shah very badly. And
What did she do?
Oh, she did an interview with him and really embarrassed him on the air, as well as the Empress, so he was very angry. We landed the day she took off, and he didn't want to have anybody do anything for him for a while. So went over the second time, but I took Billy Kidd and Susie Chaffee with me, who were old friends from the past, because the ambassador said, "We've got to make a good film, so let's do it with whomever you wish." And so I took Billy and Susie, and also a friend of mine, Dick Barrymore, who does ski films as well, and Dick shows his in auditoriums, I show mine on television. And we spent 10 days very closely with the Empress, 1 hour with the Shah, but the rest of the time with the Empress in the mountains of Iran. And I think we have a clip of that, part of that right now.
Sure, why don't we take a look at that? And so this is a part of a film that you made for the Empress.
Well, for the Shah and the Empress, yes, and for my own television.
I wonder if they have
ski
someplace
show.
to show it.
Yeah, this is the Empress with the mountains behind. Now they don't have any place to show it. It's on a closed circuit cable television network right now, though. Been on for a year. Home box office, matter of fact. There's the Empress. She's quite a skier. She was raised in Switzerland, in Lausanne, and learned how to ski. There's Susie on the Susie chapstick.
Oh, she is good.
And the Empress and Billy Kid all skiing together.
I was trying to figure out which one was you.
I was running the camera. I've only appeared in one of my ski films.
Well, what are the slopes like in Iran?
Well, as you can see, they're absolutely superb. The topographical situation is similar to Utah because Tehran is on benches, as they have in Salt Lake City, and then the mountains go to the east, and so all the desert dust creates really good snow as a snow nucleus up there, and the Caspian Sea being to the north and west also helps the snow. I mean, it's very high elevation, as you can see, no trees.
Look at Susie Chappie.
There's old Susie doing her thing. So we're going to, matter of fact, I'm going to be associate producing a Christmas special of Susie's out in Big Sky, Montana, the end of March, and we're going to feature the Osmonds and Bill Bixby and Susie doing her thing. So she invented ballet skiing, as everybody knows.
You've always been associated with knowing a lot of big stars, and here you're with the the dignitaries in Iran. How do all those connections come?
I don't know. I really don't. It's by good accident. Part of it was, of course, I was a child actor in New York on Broadway and on national television. I did Mr. Peepers for 2 years and was with the Ray Charles Singers for 2 years on the Perry Como Show. So I grew up with a lot of kids who have now made it big. Leslie Uggams, Elliot Gould, some people who are dead now, Sal Mineo. He and I were really responsible for each other's careers. But then I lived in Las Vegas for 5 years before I came to the Twin Cities, and of course everybody who was ever on the Strip, we did a wacky weather show out there too. They were on my weather show, and I did a talk show, so you got to know these people, and that was one thing after another.
Do you keep those contacts up? Do you talk to those people very
Quite a bit, yeah, quite a bit. Tony Randall and I are very close, and Bob Goulet, who's going to be, I guess, on your show in a couple of weeks, and Leslie and I are very close yet, so yeah, I do.
Where did this title Peekaboo Weatherman come from?
Well, it all began, really, the first weather broadcast I ever did, which was in 1957 out in Missoula, Montana, which was my first entry into this end of the business. And I was doing the weather the very first time, and I had my back to the camera, and I thought, gee, that's rude, you should look back at the audience. So I decided to go back like this, to make sure they were still there. And of course, that's how that happened. And my boss...
Did somebody comment on that at that time?
Oh, my boss called me up. Yeah, he said, keep that. He said, that's going to be your trademark. So that's what I did. And of course, it's very disconcerting to people sometimes, because you keep peeking back at the camera, but I don't do it that much. I time them out now.
Of course, now it's a little different, isn't it, with all the electronic mechanism weather?
It is. I do kind of like John Coleman, who's a good friend. Also, John does in Chicago his weather, all chroma key now, which to the audience is just appearing before pictures rather than writing. And it's difficult to do that, but you can still cheat a little bit. You can look at the camera and the wall at the same time sometimes.
We want to take some questions for you, Barry, and also give our home audience a chance to call in. If you'd like to ask Barry a question, you can call at 645, let's see, 0733. Is that it? 645.
right.
Yeah, they keep changing the number on us. Can't remember. 645-0733 for Barry ZeVan. Right back. Stay with us. It used to be 0731.
This is more than a newspaper coupon. It's a certificate of...
The new issue of TV Guide takes an overview of television's role in the upcoming presidential election. TV Guide.
Taste a Hormel Wrangler. Just taste one.
Woo-wee! I'll never go back to hot dogs.
And you'll never go back to hot dogs. Taste a Wrangler.
The American premiere of Pablo Picasso's Legacy Collection. Paintings, sculpture, collages, and drawings. February 10 through March 30th. Walker Art Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our guest is Barry ZeVan, former weatherman here at Channel 5, and we have some questions for you here, Barry.
Are you back in the Twin Cities to work?
No. I'm really just at loose ends right now, but I'm doing a lot of things. I have my film company. I also write for Ski Magazine, Ski Business Magazine, and the Detroit Free Press. So I would love to be back in the Twin Cities, though, truthfully. It's a great place to live, best in the country. And I'm not saying that because I'm here, it's true.
You went from Washington, D.C. to Detroit.
Right.
A station there to do the weather.
Right.
What do you think of Detroit? You're still working there.
Ironically, I love Detroit, too. You sound like I love every place, but Detroit is a marvelous city. It has had a bum rap. After the riots, I guess in '68, it deserved a bum rap, but they have built now a place called the Renaissance Center down there, which is absolutely one of the most magnificent complexes that exists. And the people are all very up. They're very positive people. Even with 200,000 automobile workers laid off right now, the economy is extremely bad. But they all have a spirit. The Republican convention's coming there this coming summer, and they're terrific. It's a great place to live.
How do you like working television there? Do you like that station? You say you didn't like the one in
Yeah,
Washington.
that station's very good. Yeah, it's an excellent station. Good people. Still, you know, there are problems everywhere, but it's, compared to Washington, the station is spectacular.
Do you want to stay in television doing the weather, or would you just soon get off into these other enterprises?
That's a loaded question. I would like either or. Weather, I've been doing weather now for almost 24 years, and it's time to, expand. I'm 42 years old, and I feel that, if I did something else, I would love it, I've done talk shows before, issue shows, things of that nature, doing my films. I enjoy that. I just don't enjoy being locked into one thing. So.
You feel a little locked in now?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Question here. Are you still peekabooing?
No, that was one of the things. When I was hired in Washington, that's a good question, because when I was hired in Washington, they changed my act. They changed what I did. They said, we don't want you to peekaboo. I said, what did you hire me for? Because, and it was strictly, to get down to the nitty-gritty, it was a question of money. They had doubled my income when I went down there, and I could not turn it down. And I remember one wonderful gentleman here at this station saying, money isn't everything. And I thought, well, that's easy for anybody to say who has a lot of money. But it's the most important thing in the world. Money is not everything. Money is probably nothing, really, when it comes right down to it. So don't do anything for money.
We have a question on the phone here, Barry.
Okay.
Yes, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello? We must have a technical difficulty there. I'll take another line. Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. I would like to ask the gentleman, what does he think of the weathercaster over there in Detroit by the name of Sonny Elliott?
What's that? Sonny and I are very good friends, and Sonny is a very funny man. He's a very good friend of mine. I'm from Detroit originally myself, and that comment you just made there just thrills me to death.
Okay, thank you for calling. Yeah. Right. Got a question, Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long is it since you left here?
It's been 6 years.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. Doesn't seem like that either.
Barry, you have another film that you wanted to show us.
Yes, one of the films I made was in Portillo, Chile, and luckily, by accident, caught the world's fastest skier doing his fastest run. He's going over 121 miles an hour on this film. We can take a look at it right now, I suppose. I do a little narration.
Spectacular race against Karl Schranz is also the home of the world's fastest ski run, executed the day after these time trials were filmed on September 21st, 1977, by South Lake Tahoe, California's Steve McKinney at a speed of over 121 miles per hour. The world's short ski speed record was also set on that day by Finland's 48-year-old Kalevi Hakkinen. The film of these time trials, during which McKinney established a new world's record during this run, only to surpass it the following day, is the only filmed record of this achievement that exists.
There it is, and that was him. Last year he broke that record himself. In ski racing, it's become widely known that man-made snow, which we're familiar with in Minnesota, is almost better than natural snow. And the fellow who invented the best snowmaking guns is from Michigan. Ironically, I've got to know him. He bought Big Sky, Montana. Of course, on our ski scene, we had Chet Huntley before Big Sky opened, and Chet unfortunately died 3 days before Big Sky opened. Well, General Electric and Chrysler own Big Sky, and now this man from Michigan has bought it, and it's the most popular ski area for Twin Cityans who ski out west, ironically. And I've was out there just a month ago scouting out for Susie's special location, and they've opened 2 new runs right now. A lot of people thought it was a cream puff area before. Now it's been sanctioned by the FIS as a world-class area for breaking your neck, your bones, whatever you want to break, because they now have 2 runs that are almost perpendicular, and it's super. It's just open, so it's really great stuff. Yep.
Question up here, Barry.
I had a question, but you've already answered it, but I still want to know, why did you leave us?
Well, I said money, you know, and bad choice, bad choice.
You miss
Looking
him?
back over your
I
whole
sure
career,
miss
Barry,
him.
now you've done a lot of acting, you've done television, you're doing these outside things like ski films and everything. What would you say is the high point, the thing you enjoyed more than anything else?
Well, I don't know. I think between really being here, which was the most enjoyable time of my life, and also doing the films, the ski films.
What do you look forward to now? What do you really want?
What do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know. I think mainly talk shows and filming, period. Yeah.
I would like to know, in reporting, do you prefer reporting in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and what is your reason?
I'm a member of the American National Metric Council. I'm a firm believer in metrics. It's not a communist plot. And the metric system is very easy. It's based on the real dimensions of the world. And Celsius is fine with me, but as long as we're in this country, it's going to take 3 generations, the council figures, to convert to metric in this country. That's 90 years. So if I'm around in 90 years, I'll do it all in Celsius.
Barry, it seems to me that you seem to be saying in a way that if you could do it all over again, you would still be here, you wouldn't have left.
Correct.
And that you would stay here for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You don't really have intentions of going on from here.
That is true.
Really?
Yeah, 100% true.
Can you turn it back? Can you come back? Can you be here?
I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, that's what is it? One of the baseball players said, baseball has been very good to me. Television has been very good to me. And, you know, who knows? You know, it's, the business is a strange business. But I would love to come back sometime.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Barry.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure having you here.
Okay.
Barry ZeVan.
Well, Counselor, I think I found the rich-tasting coffee we've been looking for.